After watching the Clippers blowout loss last night against the Phoenix Suns, I'm pretty sure for some people it's going to raise some questions about their title hopes and championship dreams. And the biggest concern I see from that is, the Clippers just need to be consistent. It's hard to be consistent, I know, in this league because there's a lot of things that come with it. It's a lot of games you have to play, a lot of nights, back-to-backs, things like that. But at the same time, every team plays back-to-backs. And that's what Ty Lue was saying, about the loss that they had. And the thing that I see that can hurt the Clippers the most is the inconsistencies they have. I mean, like Paul George, the other night against the Kings, he scores 40 points against a team like that, a team that's really an afterthought. Then he goes against, a better team, and he scores 16 points against the Phoenix Suns. And that can't happen because when you have... Kawhi Leonard's coming off the bench right now. They're trying to get him back to where he needs to be. Paul George needs to at least be consistent. I mean, if he's going to score 41 night, at least score 20 plus points the next night. You see what I'm saying? Because, other players do it. It's a part of the league. It's a part of the system. And that's what you have to do. Back-to-backs are in the schedule for every team. And this is my point. This is the reason why I say Paul George is good, but the inconsistency that he shows at times holds the Clippers back as well. And then, you look at Marcus Morris. He had 22 points in last night's game against the Phoenix Suns, which was really, empty calorie type points for the most part. But even still, he's always been one of the most inconsistent players on the Clippers as well. So, and I'm not saying Paul George was the reason why they lost last night against the Suns, or maybe even not even saying Marcus Morris is. What I'm trying to say is the inconsistency of, how they play at times, hurts their momentum, hurts their chemistry to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's been like that with this team for the last few years, actually. The inconsistencies they have. To me, the only consistent player they have every single night is their best player, Kawhi Leonard, when he's healthy. When Kawhi is healthy, he always gives you a consistent points, consistent effort, and he is efficient in his shooting. 90% of the time, Kawhi is efficient in his shooting. He's not shooting, 4 for 19. It's rare that you see Kawhi have shooting nights like that. And this is my point. To me, a team could have the best player on the team, but the best player shouldn't be the only consistent player on your team. And that's a problem for the Clippers. If you're only and your best consistent player is your best player, and he's the only one that's really like that on the team, that what you're getting every night out of him, that's not a good thing. And I'm not saying the other players don't have, good nights and things like that. But to me, the most consistent person on that team is Kawhi Leonard, and he's the best player. There should be other players on the team that are readily consistent as well in what they do. And this is the problem for the Clippers that I see, along with the small ball thing. Now, Ty Lue talks about, and he speaks on that the Clippers didn't play the defense the way they were supposed to. They weren't talking on defense and everything like that. That's fine. But this is the point I tried to make about a week ago. The Clippers playing small ball can be the advantage for the other team, depending on how they're playing, depending on how the matchup is, against the Clippers. And this is what Ty Lue is going to have to get used to. This is what he's going to have to adjust to. And he's going to have to make some adjustments in this area rather quickly, because the Clippers might find themselves, losing games that they should win, depending on if Ty Lue, exercises the small ball too much and don't allow them to play big in more than half court sets, that way. So, it can come back to haunt them, as I said, because, you play a team like Phoenix, whereas, they still got like somebody like DeAndre Ayton. He dominates Zubac more than a lot of other centers in the league, from what I've noticed. It's just for some reason, Zubac doesn't really usually have his best outing against DeAndre Ayton. The numbers sometimes are okay, but the overall isn't the same. Like, against the Lakers the other night, Zubac, had, several offensive rebounds, things like that. He doesn't do those things too much against, DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton's a little more active on the boards, and I do understand that, but this is the point. You have to find a way to play big boy basketball against certain teams who actually play that way, and that's the way Phoenix plays, and that's the reason why Phoenix got the best of the Clippers. And on top of that, which a lot of people in the media might not mention if they talk about this, Kawhi Leonard came off the bench too. That's probably the reason. That's the real reason why I believe they beat the Clippers, because, like I said, Kawhi Leonard not being in the starting lineup, playing his usual minutes, makes all the world difference of the Clippers' outcome as a team. It makes all the world of the difference of the Clippers being, a number one team or a team at the top rather than being a team somewhere midway in the middle. So eventually, of course, the Clippers are going to have to find a way to get Kawhi Leonard to, get healthy enough to where he can feel comfortable going in the starting lineup again and contributing the way, we're used to seeing him contribute to a team that's, on the verge of winning, or a team that has an opportunity to win a championship. So that time will come, but until then, adjustments need to be made. Paul George needs to be a little bit more consistent. What's asked of him right now, while Kawhi Leonard comes off the bench, is consistency. He can't have 41 night and 39 minutes, and then the next night play 36 minutes or 35 minutes and have 16 points. He can't do that. You can't follow up a 40-point game like that. You have to follow up a 40-point game with a 20-plus point game. That's the way it is. 20-plus points after a 40-point game is feasible. A 40-point game followed up by a 16-point game against a team like Phoenix, who you really definitely want to, beat them and, embarrass them, then that's what you need to do. And it didn't happen for the Clippers, so they have to go back to the drawing board and figure things out. And I know they're frustrated after this loss. I mean, Reggie Jackson, I think, missed all his shots, I believe. I don't think he even scored, I believe. I mean, it's just a bad night for the Clippers overall, and they just have to find a way to adjust and get used to the atmosphere the way they are now. And they have to find a way to, bottle up their weaknesses and, figure out how to shake them and get rid of them, as the season goes on. And Ty Lue said, they will find a way to get better. But right now, Ty Lue said, reading the reports that, Phoenix Suns are a better team than them right now. And right now, technically, you could say that they are, because, they did, get the victory against the Clippers, even though it's early in the season. If you want to look at it that way, I personally don't think the Phoenix Suns are better than the Clippers. Never, no day of the week. But I can understand why Ty Lue said that, just to get under his team's skin and give them a little bit of a push. And I definitely respect that. But he's also going to have to give a lot better. He's also have to make a lot better decisions and make better adjustments too. Because when you're going for a championship, every little thing counts. Every little mistake counts. All the little things are going to add up to be big things. And the one thing you don't have in your favor right now is a Kawhi Leonard in the starting lineup, and that's the biggest difference, because when Kawhi is in the starting lineup, he makes up for all the intangible, the little things that they don't do well. See, and that's the problem. The Clippers' little things, the little issues they have show when Kawhi Leonard's not playing, the full game, full minutes, because he makes up for all those things. The inconsistencies of Paul George don't look so bad when Kawhi Leonard's playing 40 minutes a game, because Kawhi Leonard makes up for what Paul George doesn't do. Paul George has nights where he looks like he's a superstar once again, but he also has many nights where he looks like, a second tier superstar. Or he has some nights where he looks like a role player. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, Kawhi Leonard makes up for a lot of their issues and a lot of their concerns. So over time, everything will be fine, because, once he comes back to the starting lineup, he'll make up for a lot of things. But at the same time, they need to, perfect and get better with those things that they fail at, because you don't want to put too much pressure on Kawhi. He get hurt again like he did in the playoffs a couple years ago, because he's trying to make up for every inconsistency and every flaw this team has by doing it himself. Well, that's not the point. The point is to have a team. So they have to figure out a way to do it as a team and gel and get better with time, and hopefully they will. But hey, that's my take on everything. Leave any comments in the comment section. Check one of the videos if you haven't. And hey, Khaliis out.